Hi, I'm Chris, founder of Megafarad. We turn appointment reminder outreach into real scheduling outcomes, confirmations, reschedules, cancellations, using intent-driven voice automation. Here's the problem we're solving. No-shows and last-minute cancellations create real revenue loss and wasted clinical capacity. Clinics already try to fix this, but patients don't respond cleanly, and that's where schedules break. Here's what's used today and why it fails. Today, clinics use three things: SMS and portal reminders, press 1 robocalls or IVR, and staff phone calls. However, there are limitations to these approaches. Text only works when the patient gives a simple response. IVR is brittle and frustrating. Staff calls work best, but they're expensive and they don't scale. So, what's the answer? The obvious emerging answer is to let AI do the whole conversation. Fully generative AI agents are an emerging approach. Let an LLM talk directly to the patient and drive the call end to end. However, in healthcare, that's fraught because that approach increases risk surface area. There's less control over exactly what's said, there's more variance, harder auditing, and longer calls. Clinics don't just want a conversation, they want a verified outcome. So Megafarad takes a different approach. Megafarad is intent-driven voice automation. We use controlled prompts and use AI only to interpret what the patient means. For example, confirm, reschedule, cancel, or wrong number. Then a deterministic workflow triggers the outcome. In other words, we offer flexible understanding with tight control. And this isn't hypothetical, we actually have it working. I've run hundreds of end-to-end demo calls. The intent capture loop works, and the inference cost is small at low volume. The key de-risking is that the system reliably produces structured outcomes. The next de-risking step is proving ROI in live pilots and turning pilots into rollouts. Here's what makes our approach special versus both legacy and generative tools. Megafarad is AI-powered without handing the conversation to a generative agent. It's intent-only AI that understands but doesn't freestyle the dialogue. It's workflow first, with deterministic steps that produce consistent outcomes. It's auditable with structured results and clear logs built for compliance review. It's short calls with predictable costs and fewer failure modes. It integrates by complementing existing SMS portal tooling by resolving exceptions. For example, if someone doesn't respond to an SMS. So that naturally leads us to pricing. Our pricing is value-based and tied on outcomes because clinics don't buy calls, they buy field schedules and less staff time on the phone. So the model is a base platform fee per clinic group plus usage tied to resolve outcomes like confirm, reschedule, cancel, or wrong number detection. Here's an illustrative example. $999 a month plus $1 per resolved outcome. If a 10-location group gets 300 resolved outcomes per month, that's about $1,299. The reason this pencils out is even for small fraction of these outcomes would have been no-shows or manual staff calls, and the ROI is immediate. And here's why we like this model and what it implies for our margins. This model works because it avoids the classic trap of telephony products. Pricing per minute pushes you into a commodity race. Outcome-based pricing keeps us aligned with the clinic values, filled slots and staff time saved, while creating predictable recurring revenue plus scaling upside as usage grows. On cost, we have telephony, compute, and compliance overhead. These levers are straightforward. Keep calls short, use AI only for intent, automate the common use cases, and route only true exceptions to staff. That makes cost per resolved outcome predictable and improves as margins and volumes grows. With the model established, the next question is, how do we land the first customers and prove ROI quickly? Our beachhead is multi-location specialty operators, starting with orthopedics, because scheduling holes are expensive and the workflow is centralized. Our sales motion is as follows. We start with founder-led outreach to ops and scheduling leaders. We then move to clinic-funded pilot, about 2 to 4 weeks, one workflow. And then we expand to more locations and more workflows as ROI is proven. We define pilot metrics with the following: reschedules completed, cancellations captured early, wrong number cleanup, staff call minutes avoided. So, why me? I have over 10 years of building voice user interfaces. I deliberately built this in Tim first rather than chatty AI because I've seen how voices fail in production. I'm strong on product and engineering, and I'm building go-to-market muscle through structured pilot motion. Here's what I'm raising and what it buys. I'm raising $1 million from pre-seed for a 12-month runway. The goal is to run 10 to 15 pilots, convert 3 to 5 and referenceable customers, harden compliance posture and reporting, and prove a scheduling EHR write-back integration path. By month 12, we should have a repeatable pilot to rollout motion and baseline unit economics. If this fits your thesis, I'd love to talk to you what you think the best first pilot customers are and what our healthcare operators move the fastest. Thank you very much for your time.